Have you ever looked at a map of Southeast Asia and wondered about that big patch of blue water between the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia? That's the Sulu Sea, and if you look closer, you'll notice something strange. There are very few shipping lanes crossing it. No major cruise lines sail through it. There are no big ports on its shores, and surprisingly few scientific expeditions go there. It's almost as if it's been left alone. This is one of the most biologically diverse marine regions on the entire planet, yet it's also one of the least studied. It's a place full of secrets, and in 1998 it became the heart of a bizarre mystery that oceanographers are still trying to figure out today. It all started with a sound. In early 1998, a network of hydrophones, basically underwater microphones, part of an international marine monitoring project, picked up something that made scientists scratch their heads. It was a very low-frequency sound, lasting just a few seconds, but it would repeat at irregular intervals. Now, the ocean is a noisy place, but this was different. It was too quiet to be an earthquake, which creates massive, powerful waves of sound. It was too slow to be a whale song. Whales communicate in complex patterns, but this was simpler, more drawn out, and it was too structured to be random ocean noise from waves or currents. Researchers gave it an informal name, the Sulu Anomaly. There was nothing threatening about it. It wasn't loud or explosive, it was just weird. The best way to describe it is that it sounded like something was moving very slowly and steadily across the deep seafloor. But what could it be? To understand why this signal was so puzzling, you need to understand the Sulu Sea itself. It's not like other seas. It's incredibly deep, much deeper than the surrounding continental shelves. In its center is the Sulu Deep, a trench that plunges down over 6,000 meters. That's deeper than the Grand Canyon is long. This deep basin is surrounded by a ring of islands, coral reefs, and submerged ridges. These natural barriers act like walls, blocking ocean currents from the surrounding seas. This isolation makes the Sulu Sea a unique ecosystem, but it also makes it a nightmare for research vessels. Navigating these waters safely is extremely difficult, which is one reason why we know so little about it. Compared to the Atlantic or Pacific Oceans, scientists have only mapped a tiny fraction of the Sulu Sea's floor. It's like trying to understand a massive dark room by only looking through a keyhole. And this lack of data, this massive blind spot in our knowledge, is precisely why the Sulu Anomaly was so hard to identify. There was simply no reference point. Was it geological, biological, man-made? Without detailed maps of the seafloor or a catalog of the creatures living down there, it was all just guesswork. But the mystery didn't end with a strange sound. In that same year, 1998, something else happened that added a new layer to the puzzle. Local fishermen from the Tawi Islands, an archipelago on the edge of the Sulu Sea, started reporting something very odd. They noticed that entire patches of coral reef, areas that had always been vibrant and noisy, had suddenly gone silent. Coral reefs are normally bustling with sound, the constant crackling of snapping shrimp, the grunts and croaks of fish. It's a non-stop underwater symphony, but in these areas the fishermen reported days of complete and utter silence. The life of the reef had just vanished. Then, just as mysteriously as it stopped, the sound would return a few days later. Marine biologists who later surveyed these areas found something equally strange. They discovered unusual scars on the seafloor near these silent reefs. It looked as if something very heavy had been dragged along the bottom, gouging out long, straight lines. The first thought was illegal bottom trawlers, but the marks didn't match. Trawlers leave a very distinct, destructive pattern. These scars were different. They also ruled out ship anchors or any known submarine activity. Whatever made these marks was a complete unknown. The mystery deepened even further years later. A study published in 2007 discovered something highly unusual about the water in the Sulu Deep. They found pockets of superoxygenated water at extreme depths. This is incredibly rare. Usually, the deep ocean has very low oxygen levels because it's cut off from the surface. The presence of this oxygen-rich water suggested some kind of powerful vertical mixing was happening. Something was pushing surface water all the way down to the bottom, 6,000 meters below. But the mechanism causing it was a total mystery. The surrounding ridges should have prevented this. So now, let's put all the pieces together. You have a strange low-frequency sound moving across the seafloor. You have vibrant coral reefs that mysteriously go silent for days at a time. You have unexplained scars dragged across the ocean bottom. And you have bizarre water chemistry in the deepest parts of the sea that defies our understanding of oceanography. When you combine all these clues, the Sulu Anomaly, the silent reefs, the seafloor scars, and the superoxygenated water, you start to get a picture of just how little we understand about this corner of our own planet. So what could be the explanation? Over the years, theories have ranged from the mundane to the truly wild. Some scientists proposed undiscovered geological phenomena, like slow-moving mud volcanoes or gas seeps that would start and stop, explaining both the sound and the changes in water chemistry. Others wondered if it could be a previously unknown species, a massive slow-moving creature living in the crushing pressure of the Sulu Deep, something that we have no name for and have never seen. Its movements could create the sound, disturb the seafloor, and its activity could even explain the silent reefs. the human element. Could it be some kind of unacknowledged military or corporate activity? A new type of deep-sea vehicle being tested in secret. The Sulu Sea's isolation would make it a perfect place for such clandestine operations. But no government or company has ever come forward. To this day, the Sulu Anomaly has never been definitively explained. The sounds eventually faded and became less frequent after 1998, though faint. Similar signals are occasionally still detected. The silent reefs, the scars, the strange water, they all remain pieces of an unsolved puzzle. The Sulu Sea reminds us that even in our hyperconnected modern world, there are still vast, unexplored frontiers right here on Earth. It holds its secrets close, in the dark, silent pressure of its deepest trenches. What really happened back in 1998? What was making that sound? Maybe one day we'll have the technology and the courage to finally go down there and find out. Until then, it remains one of the ocean's greatest modern mysteries. What do you think was behind the Sulu Anomaly? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from the unexplored corners of our world. Thanks for watching.